So you did the shadow work. You dug through the dirt, faced the feelings you were trained to suppress, and saw yourself without the mask. Now what? Now you integrate. This is where the real power kicks in, where the shadow no longer stalks you from the dark. It walks beside you. And this is part 3 to the Shadow series. So if you haven't watched part 1, What is the Shadow Self, and part 2 on shadow work, go ahead and do that now. I promise you this video will be here when you get back. You're kinda cute when you follow instructions. I be manipulating my ass off. Shadow integration is the process of becoming whole. It's when the parts of you that used to sabotage, manipulate, or hide get invited to the table, not to take over, but to be seen, understood, and used with intention. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is not love and light with a smile while you're bleeding inside. This is real, embodied, lived. You're no longer healing for the sake of trying to fix yourself. You're becoming fully you, without apology. You stop exiling the rage, the fear, the grief, and you listen. You learn their language. That's sacred listening, and in that, you reclaim your power, not as perfection, but as presence. This is the work of rooting in your truth, even when it's messy, especially when it's messy, because wholeness was never about being clean. It was always about being real. You can tell when you're integrating the shadow because you stop explaining yourself when you tell people no. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You notice your anger, but it doesn't control you. It informs your boundaries. You stop needing to be liked. You simply choose to be real. You used to explode in arguments because you never felt heard. Now, you feel the heat rise, and instead of yelling, you say, I need space right now. I'll come back when I'm no longer thinking of beating you with these oven mittens. Just kidding. I know you would never do that. You love your oven mitts. The point is, you return when you can respond, not react. That's integration. Let's break it down into 4 steps. Step 1, acceptance. You can't integrate what you're still judging. Start with this truth. All of you has a reason for existing. Every trait, every coping mechanism, every reactive part, it's not evil, it's protection. That jealous part of you, it was trying to keep you from feeling abandoned. That manipulative streak, it learned to control outcomes when you were powerless. Acceptance doesn't mean you approve of the behavior. It means you understand it and choose differently now. You don't heal by shaming your survival. You heal by witnessing it. Honestly, compassionately. Integration is not about erasing the past. It's about holding it with new eyes. You get to rewrite the pattern without rejecting the part of you that created it, because that part, it was doing the best it could with what it knew. Now you know more. Now you choose. That's what makes it healing. Not perfection. Power. Quiet, steady, reclaimed power. Step 2, dialogue. Your shadow holds stories. Instead of avoiding them, start asking questions. What are you trying to protect me from? What are you afraid will happen if I change? You can journal and ask your fear of failure why it keeps you frozen. The answer might come up as something like, because the last time you tried, they laughed at you. Now you know the root. Now you can respond, that happened then, but I'm not that child anymore. I can handle it now. Talk to your shadow like an old friend, because it's been with you through it all. It's not the enemy, it's the witness, the one who saw what you went through when no one else did, the one who learned how to survive by any means necessary. So when you sit with your shadow, don't come with force. Come with curiosity. Let it speak without interruption. Let it cry if it needs to. Let it rage. Because once it feels seen, something softens. The armor loosens. The defenses quiet. And what's left isn't darkness. It's depth. Not a flaw to fix, but a truth to embrace. A doorway back to yourself. Step 3. Channeling. This is where things get powerful. You take what used to harm you and turn it into fuel. Rage turns into assertive boundaries. Envy transforms into clarity about your desires. Shame becomes a sacred commitment to your truth. For example, you used to stay quiet at work because you were afraid of seeming too much. Now, you speak up, not to dominate, but because your voice matters. That confidence, that's your shadow, integrated. You don't discard the trait, you redirect the energy. This is alchemy, turning what once weighed you down into wings that help you soar. It's not about forcing change overnight. It's about steady, patient shifts. Each time you choose differently, you're reclaiming your power. You're proving that your past no longer defines you. Your present intention does. And with every step, you become more whole, more alive, more unapologetically you. Integration isn't a destination. It's a lifelong dance with all parts of yourself moving toward freedom. Step 4. Embodiment. This is the test. Can you walk your integration when it's not comfortable? When you're triggered? When your old self wants to step back in? Integration happens in the moment. The moment when your friend crosses a boundary. The old you would have smiled and said it's fine, or even slapped somebody. The integrated you feels the knot in your gut and says, that didn't sit right with me. Let's talk about it before I slap you. See the difference? It might shake your voice. You might still feel scared, but you do it anyway. That's embodiment. Because integration isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing courage despite the fear. It's showing up for yourself, even when it's chaotic and uncertain. Every time you stand in that discomfort, you're rewriting your story. You're teaching your old patterns that they no longer run the show. This is where real growth happens. Not in the quiet comfort zones, but in the fire of real-life moments. And with each step, you become more anchored in who you truly are. Shadow integration is a lifelong path. You don't do it once and call it a day. You'll revisit these parts again and again, but this time, they'll come to you with a different tone. You'll see the patterns faster, you'll choose differently, more often. You'll fall out of old loops with grace instead of guilt. That's the difference. This matters because if you don't integrate, the shadow stays underground, driving your life from the dark. You'll keep reacting, doubting, sabotaging. You'll keep wondering why you feel stuck. But when you do integrate, you become stable, conscious, free. You stop outsourcing your power. You walk into every space whole. No more code switching, no more self-abandonment, just you, all of you. Here are some journal prompts to leave with. What part of me still feels unworthy and why? Where in my life am I still wearing a mask to feel accepted? If I trusted my shadow was sacred, how would I treat it differently? Do the work, then live it as truth. The shadow never wanted to destroy you. It just wanted to be seen. And now that it has, you're unstoppable. Stay integrated.